Hello, welcome back to my studio. It's review time again, and I've got some interesting products in the studio today from my friends at Art Savings Club. Here's something totally different and something I hadn't seen before, involving pastels. Pastels like this. These are new Pan Pastel colors. That's what they're called. And basically it is a artist quality pastel in a container like this. Kind of reminds me of those makeup containers. Not that I tried them, but... So the whole idea behind this is to try and merge the painting experience with using pastels. Of course, we're all familiar with pastel sticks, but they have some disadvantages. The soft ones like to break. The pastel dust can be a bit of a nuisance. And it's hard to mix them. So what the manufacturers of Pan Pastels are trying to get is a high intensity color that's easy to apply in a painting fashion. And you open these containers up, which store the pastel very nicely and protect it. And it reveals the pastel like this. And then there's a whole series of applicators. This is just an example of one. And there's other things like these sponges you can use, different shapes. All very interesting. Or the main thing you'd be using, I suppose, would be an applicator like this. So rub it on the pastel container, pick up the pastel, and as you can see, nothing's falling off, and paint it on. You'll also see in this video, I'm also going to use pastel sticks. I'll be trying out some of these Van Gogh pastels, 12 soft pastel sticks. So you'll see them in action as well, and we'll have a look at how it turns out. So let's get painting. Okay, this is the box of the Pan Pastels that I've got. It's a tester kit, and with the tools that they supply, pretty much like a painting knife, and quite a lot of information supplied showing techniques to use, so very handy, and they've provided tons of information online as well. So you can see beautiful, this I think is permanent red, really strong, goes on very easily, very soft, easy to brush on. Yeah, I'm putting on some layers, and notice how easily the layers go on, and very clean. So just brush it on, almost like painting it on. I'm using a watercolor paper, just this is smooth hot press on the left, and then more textured or rough cold press on the right. Let's try out some of this lovely yellow, also very intense, just goes on easily. So you can see it doesn't really matter on the textured paper, it fills up the texture of the paper very quickly. Easy to change the little sponge attachments. They are washable as well, so that's good to know. Mixing some color. This is kind of one of the objectives of the makers of this product, is to be able to mix color like you would with paint, but except this is dry, of course. Using a kneaded eraser, and yeah, you can use that to make some textures lighten the values, things like that. So let's get stuck into some painting. I'm just going to do something just out of my head, a bit of an impromptu landscape. You can use the tools, as you can see, for quick drawing. That's pretty useful. So I'm using some burnt sienna and quickly roughing in the composition. This is a bit of burnt umber. And happily mixing into the burnt sienna as well. Now some of that beautiful yellow. I must say I'm particularly attracted to the bright colors. I think that is a big plus. And notice how quickly it covers space, filling up the paper very easily and very quickly. Mixing it over the yellow, getting some orange, then into the red. And this will work nicely with colored paper as well if you're using pastel paper, or if you tone your paper in some way. Going over it with the Pan Pastel will add added layers straight away. And now some of those Van Gogh pastels I was talking about. First time I'm trying these pastels, Van Gogh pastel sticks, and they are different. They are much thinner than I'm used to, and a little bit harder than I thought. Although the box says they are soft pastels, I'm used to Rembrandt pastels or Sennelier or even Unison pastels, all excellent quality pastels, but quite a bit softer than these Van Gogh ones. But then again, these pastels are a more student range and won't set you back quite as much as those ones I've mentioned. So there is a bit of a compromise, I suppose. But they seem to be adding in some color pretty fast as well, so they will work quite nicely. But the main thing I'm trying to work out here is the ease of using the sticks with the Pan Pastel. That is the combination that really does interest me. So hopefully this quick demo will illustrate the benefit of combining pastel sticks with Pan Pastels. So building up the painting, this is supposed to be some trees or bushes, and as you can see, when I'm using pastel sticks, I don't really try to blend them much. It's more about building up layers using lines. I'll also do some cross hatching and just making marks. I like, as I'm doing here with these dark accents with the burnt sienna, I like the sort of energy and suggested elements, and just making marks really instinctively in some cases. So not too much worrying about blending everything. And I guess this is what makes Pan Pastel so nice, is you can get the blended background in and then go over it and mix it up a bit and cause a bit of chaos with the pastel sticks. So I need a bit more body into this clump of bushes, and I must say the Pan Pastels going in there, and it's quite convenient. And then going straight over it again with the sticks, and it's all seemed to be working quite nicely. There's a minimum of mess. So some of the more soft premium pastel sticks and pastel products, they really do throw off quite a lot of pastel dust. But as you can see, quite a minimum amount using this method. I get some information into those distant hills. A few cooler colors, a bit of aerial perspective, and just making marks with those colors for general harmony in the painting. Sometimes you have to just go ahead and make a mark or put some color in a part of the painting, even if it's not there in your reference. Paintings are not photographs, and getting some harmony of color is a factor to consider. Just using that sponge to aid the whole aerial perspective blending, and that seems to work. But anyway, getting back into it with the pastel sticks for some more texture. This is a sort of a magenta color, which is very nice. But then using the white pastel to bring it together. Once again, just making a few of those marks into the landscape itself, and then joining it all up with a bit of vigorous line making. The yellow lemon, a bit lighter and in keeping with the sort of aerial perspective, loosely bringing it into the foreground. Cool side of the hills. Nice bright red, this. Adding a bit of zing here and there. Okay, I need to get that sky sorted out. There's quite a lot of space. So with the sky, I'll try to gradate the sky a little from light and warm at the horizon and cooling and getting a bit darker in value towards the top. So bringing in a bit of ultramarine blue near the top of the picture. Touches of yellow ochre reflecting up into the sky. But I will cross-hatch that with the white to pull it together a bit, make it look more atmospheric. I take a similar approach with paint as well, so it's just a different medium but the same objective. Some sort of suggestion of clouds as well in the sky. But of course quite a bit of optical mixing going to take place here, so stand back often and see if you're heading in the right direction with your painting. Easier just to resort to a bit of smudging with your finger if you have to, but pull it back together again with the pastel sticks. So it's looking a bit better. And now back into the tree, adding a few touches of interest and sort of merging the edges a little with the sky. And just a bit of that magenta and now more layers, build it up.
Like onions.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
Okay, so a bit of just a reminder there, keep that in mind, layers. Coming back in with the Pan Pastel, just a bit of added saturation of color, nice and strong. Few dark accents, and I think I'll sign it off. But yeah, let's just have a look, put a frame around, get an idea of things. I feel I'd like to just extend the foreground a little more. So very quickly, just get a bit more vibrancy right in the foreground, and then it will be done. So there you go. Have a try out with this, with Pan Pastels. I think it's a pretty interesting product. Quite happy with the end result. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to my channel and maybe share this video with some of your friends as well. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, we'll see you soon. Cheers for now.